Hello and welcome. I'm Robin Douglas, and this is the first in a series of short videos on revivals of ancient pagan religion. One of the more unusual features of the modern religious scene is people who practice revived forms of the ancient pre-Christian religions of Europe. At first sight, this seems strange. The ancient pagan religions of our continent go back thousands of years, but surely they were abandoned and replaced by Christianity. Broadly speaking, this did happen, from the 4th century AD onwards. By the Middle Ages, more or less all of Europe had become Christian. Yet there was always the possibility of reviving the old religions. The inheritance of the ancient classical world continued to be a crucially important part of European culture, in art, architecture, literature, philosophy, and political thought. If anyone wanted to start believing in pagan ideas or start worshipping pagan gods with pagan rituals, the possibility always existed for them to do so. The materials were there right at hand. Paganism was a kind of ghost which could be summoned up at any time. A spectre is haunting Europe, the spectre of paganism. As we'll see in the videos in this series, people started trying to revive paganism as soon as Christianity emerged as the dominant religion of the Roman Empire. The first pagan revivalist was the Roman Emperor Julian in the 300s AD. Numerous people followed in his footsteps in the centuries that followed, until finally modern paganism emerged from the 1700s onwards. For a long time, it was believed that pagan religions had survived the coming of Christianity, and that pagan rites continued to be practiced in country areas where the grip of the church was supposedly weak. The best-known modern pagan movement, Wicca, was presented by its founder, Gerald Gardner, as a direct survival of pre-Christian religion, although most Wiccans today no longer believe literally in that history. In fact, the idea that pagan religions survived after the coming of Christianity, perhaps even until the present day, has been discredited since the 1970s. That idea was replaced to a large extent by another idea, that contemporary paganism is a totally new movement, a modern or postmodern phenomenon which has no real historical roots. This is also untrue. The truth is that the ingredients of pagan religion have always been there, in European and American culture, waiting to be revived. The stories of the gods, their images, and information about ancient prayers and rituals have always been there. And so, predictably, numerous people through the centuries have followed the urge to revive pagan religion, from the Emperor Julian, to Renaissance intellectuals, to Romantic poets, to 20th century rebels like Gerald Gardner and Aleister Crowley. In the following videos, we'll look at some examples of these pagan revivals that have taken place over the centuries up to modern times. I hope you find the videos interesting. Please feel free to leave feedback if so. If you want to learn more about the subject of pagan revivals, you may like to buy this book, which is out in October and currently open for pre-order. Paganism Persisting, from Exeter University Press, which I wrote with the historian Francis Young. It's available from the usual outlets.